Well, why do I have this big thing in my face?
I don't know.
Can I move it?
Yeah, I mean, no, but you have
Right
to.
there.
Okay, oh,
Is
okay.
that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys, you're live. You can go ahead now.
Hello, everybody. We're live. We are going to share with you some more information on becoming a successful real estate investor. So we're going to share some tips, and beside me I have my good friend Ramon Tux, who has 19 plus years in real estate investing, and he has done every kind of deal you can think of. He has an amazing workshop coming up, a boot camp actually, that you don't want to miss. You definitely want to be on board. So we're going to give you an opportunity to get involved with that tonight. But first, before we get started, I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'll introduce Ramon. My name is Wendy Lovejoy, and I have been in real estate at least 22 years. You know, I started off as a real estate broker, became an investor, and have been very happy at making that decision. It wasn't easy in the beginning, but once you learn this game, you can take it anywhere in the United States and live very comfortably. So I want you to hear first from my buddy, Ramon Tux, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself, how he got started. We'll recap some things from last webinar that we did, and then we'll go into tonight's topic. So Ramon, share with everybody who you are.
Hello, good evening. I'm Ramon Tux. Been in the business now 19 years. Started while in college to make a couple of extra dollars, and then I, got bit by the bug. I definitely fell in love with real estate investing, and I truly do love it. I have done everything from single-family housing to multifamily development and land development. And over the past few years, we've taken a love to training and coaching, which, as Wendy said, we have an event coming up on July 18th and 19th that we'll discuss, during this webinar. So I'm looking forward to talking about how to become a successful investor with Wendy, who I'm glad to be a part of her team. So Wendy.
And vice versa. I'm glad to be a part of your team. And I think that you have proven to be a very people conscious investor. That's what I love about you. And you're so humble, Ramon. Nobody would think you've accomplished all that you've accomplished. And what I love is that you're going to be able to break down different facets of this real estate game. I think one of the things we want to start with, because I did like a checklist of what it takes to become a successful investor. And the first thing that I wanted to talk to people, if you were to give somebody 7 steps to become a successful investor, what would they be?
The first step would be to have a plan. You need to, before you get into it, know which way you're going to go. It's almost like going to college. At least have a plan on going for 4 years and graduate, even if it changes during those 4 years, which we all know that, if you go 4 years, you change your major a couple times. But at least start out with a plan in mind. That's step one. You have to have a plan. You have to have some knowledge of where you want to go, what kind of investing you want to do, because there's so many different ways to invest in real estate.
But what if somebody has no clue and they say, like I was speaking with a friend of mine today, and I was telling him that he should kind of decide what he feels good doing. Does he like talking to people? Does he prefer finding the properties? But then there's some people who make a decision based on how much money they want to make.
Right.
And then they determine, if I want to make 20,000, then I need to be flipping. Mm-hmm. But if I'm going to just find the property, I'm probably going to make a couple of $1,000s. So what if somebody doesn't know, but they know they want to become successful at real estate? What would be the first thing you would say they need to do?
Just get involved. Begin to watch webinars, teleseminars, attend the different associations, the different REIAs. And there's a lot that goes on. Look online, read about what's happening and what it takes to do it. Look at YouTube, just so that you become acclimated to the terminology and just the field of because you can invest in just flipping your multifamily, single family, land, churches. I mean, any field you can make a fortune in. So you just have to get involved with it, you know, begin to learn the terminologies, get around people that are doing it, and you'll find your way.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I think that is a good thing because I would say that's what helped me when I first got into real estate. The first thing I did was a lot of research. I read the papers a lot. In New York, it was the Sunday Times. And then I looked for where the successful brokers were, and I went to meet them. And then I read a lot of books on no money. But I think what helped me the most was finding a coach, because I really didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't know what I needed to know. I just knew I wanted to make money in real estate. So I think when people have an opportunity to do something like your boot camp, I think they should jump at every opportunity to connect with something like that, especially when it's somebody like you who's attainable, somebody who you can touch and see that this person's really doing what they say they do. So would you say that a coach is necessary?
It's critical. When I started, we did it, you know, with trial and error, and we were lucky enough to start in a time when it was booming. So many of our mistakes were covered because it was such a boom.
Okay.
And but we figured out, I guess, 9 years later, when it crashed in 07, 08, that nobody could have predicted that big of a crash, but there are some people that would have alleviated some of those issues that we had, like a ton of vacant properties. Because we felt like it would last for you get up every day and it was just going to be the same, exactly. Top of the market, and it wasn't. And so coaching, obtaining a coach, I have my own coaches. Having coaches is very critical. Mm-hmm. I brought Miss Wendy on to coach me on Yellow Letters because we do it, but I don't want to say we're doing it the most effective way. So again, you need coaches. It's critical to have someone to be successful, and that's at anything. You know, if you're an athlete, you got to have a special coach to jump, to run, to catch. And so even with real estate investing, you definitely need a coach, no matter what you're doing, what field you're going in, or what end you're going in for the real estate investment.
And that's a good point when you bring up basketball players. I remember years ago, my kids loved basketball, so I got into it. I remember finding the local basketball star who talked me into sending them to a 5-star camp, and they learned basketball. But just so I could communicate with them, I would sit and watch basketball with them. And I got really involved in watching Michael Jordan. When he would stick that tongue out, I was like swoosh all the way. And one of the things he shared is that even though he practiced basketball as much as he didn't get to the levels of a dream team until he got a coach. Coach showed him the things that he didn't know that he needed to perfect. And I think one of the mistakes people make, because now there's so much free information on YouTube, and people literally think they can go watch a video and get this done. And you can't. This is just a taste to give you the basics of how to put your foot in the door, but you cannot have the success that you're really looking for without a coach. So I'm happy that you're willing to coach people, and you're doing a tremendous job right here at your office, coaching people and giving them hands-on help. They're not emailing you, they're not a distance from you, they're right there. So I think that's a good thing, because I like to coach people that way myself. I like to be very accessible to the people that I'm helping, even the maker. I make it easy for them to connect with me. I think that's very, very important. But if we were to say to somebody, what are the other things that made you feel that you could do this? Because when you started with real estate, did you start with a lot of money?
No.
What made you choose real estate?
I've been around real estate growing up. My grandfather was a roofer. My neighbor, as a kid, he owned houses. And in Atlanta, they had the different hood houses, dollar houses. He would take them and fix them up. And so he would say, hey, you guys want to make a couple of dollars a day? And we would go with it. And I enjoyed the part of making the money, because immediately I would go and spend it. I would just go to the store, go to the candy lady, and spend the money. But growing up, I saw that my father owned property. He encouraged us not to. He would say, "Don't be normal. Don't go get a job at 17, 18. Go and try to figure out how to buy a house." And so, at an early age, we were getting involved in real estate, and I began to bird dog. And
break down what bird dog means for somebody who's watching and heard it but doesn't really know what it means.
Bird dogging is properties for investors, specifically what their needs are. So I would, if I meet an investor, I would ask them what they're looking for, price range, and then I would just seek that for him. If he tells me he'll pay X, I know that I'm making some kind of fee without doing, any. I wouldn't have to have any cash involved. I would just locate the property, turn it over to him, get my fee, and then I'm on to the next property. That was a way that I began to build up capital, and I built up enough capital with bird dogging until I started investing myself, which didn't take that long because I'm aggressive, and I like to perfect what we're doing when we're doing it. So definitely, bird dogging is how I started. I still do bird dogging. So if you call me and you say, "Hey, Ramon, I need this kind of property," I'm going to try to find it because I want to make money. I know.
Hey, Ramon, I need a fourplex like right away.
We have one.
Awesome.
We have one.
Awesome. Well, we need to talk after this webinar. Awesome. And I'm looking for something in this area. What can you find?
No, I don't sell these in this area.
Darn. Well, then I got to send out more yellow letters and find it myself. But
the importance of, as you grow, you learn that the biggest part, I tried to, which I can say is, you can, because it's real estate and you can pay people, but you need to have a team. Right? I think, we talked about, getting involved. Step 2 is, or 1 or 2, however we want to do it, getting a coach. But even with the coach, you need to have, that's only part of a team. It's just like having a football team or a football team. You can't win without a point guard. You can't win without a center. You got to have all 5 players on the court. And in our business, you have to have an attorney. You have to have
more than one attorney.
More than one attorney. You got to have great contractors and inspectors. Maybe you don't need a lender. Maybe you have enough cash, but normally, 90-95% of the people that are doing the business need a lender in order to grow.
Or traditional. I mean, there's different types of lenders you need on your team.
And you need people that you can bounce off of. Some days I get frustrated and I call, one of my just business. And most of the time, by the time we're done talking, I'm back fired up. If a deal doesn't close, or if somebody goes, around us, or if, a contract is not doing what it's supposed to do, then we just talk about it. So that, number 3 is to have a great team. And it takes time to build it. You can't win a championship the first year. It's rare. It's very rare.
And synergize with each other and learn each other's strengths. Because I think some people, when they're looking to build their team, they try to force people into positions, as opposed to looking at what they're good at and letting them run with that, just letting them stick to that one thing. But one of the things I like about you is whenever we speak, you're always encouraged. Sometimes I could be like, oh my God, this may not be going the way I wanted to. But when I speak to you, I always feel encouraged that I can keep going right afterwards. And that's good to have people like that call on the phone, and that'll keep you motivated and moving forward. So I think that's something both of us offer to the people that we mentor and coach. And what would be number 4 on your list?
Number 4 is kind of what I started out with, is continue to work on your plan. That plan changes as you grow most of the time. So whereas, I wanted to build the Bank of America building when I first started, I realized that we could build a Bank of America building, but we got to start somewhere and build up cash, build up investors and build up equity, and just, you got to grow. So you may start off as one to have one on property, but then you see next door someone just flipped one and made 30 grand. So it may take you, 5 years to make, or 10 years to make 30 grand. So you want to try to fix and flip. And so, you begin to, adjust plan about the business. The more people you meet, the more people that inspire you, because I'm inspired every day by other people. So I want to do more deals. I want to do more fix and flips, which, you know, I love to do. So I think number 4 would be just to continue to work on that plan. Adjust it as necessary. Don't be too rigid with it, because the environment will change your plan for you.
Exactly. And your goals. I one of the things that I think messes people up is they choose from the money they want to make first. And I think it's so much more important to perfect your why, to get a handle on why you want to do real estate. So when you got started, what was your why?
I wanted some money.
But why did you want the money?
Because I knew that being in school, I didn't have any money. So I was trying to figure out the best way. And, you know, my dad would encourage us not to, you know, the $8 at that time an hour, it wouldn't meet the lifestyle, even at, you know, 19, 20, that I knew that I wanted to live.
So why didn't you choose football, basketball, or, you know, a bunch of other?
Kind of not that great. And so, you know, I knew that based on what I've seen, just the rental income side of it, because I didn't know a lot about flipping at that time. I knew just about multi-units and what I've seen, like, you know, my, you know, people with my family buying and holding and just collecting rents. I thought that was a good way that if I can make a couple of dollars every month by just going to pick up a check, then that would be the best way for me. But
did you want the money? Because again, I really want to get to the why. And people will say that I wanted to make more money, but exactly why? Did you want to make it for yourself, for your family?
At that time, it was just for me.
Did you want nice outfits? Did you want a nice
cars?
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to live. I wanted to be, you know, Donald Trump. When I was a kid, I used to watch Different Strokes. And Mr. Drummond was a real estate developer that we saw, and they lived in New York in a penthouse on, I think it was some penthouse, really nice. And so that encouraged real estate is the way to go. And then we saw Donald Trump, and we saw a lot of Donald Trump when I was growing up. So that was a way that I thought, hey, I can become wealthy.
Okay, so that's a good why, because I think if you don't connect your why, then even when you, I think we have a similar list, but we may put the numbers differently. Like on my list, I would say the first thing a person needs is education. Okay. You got to educate yourself. And what you're offering is the education. We're offering tonight with this free webinar and all the other webinars we've done that are live that they can go back and watch, where we went into about the yellow letter yesterday, the last webinar, just exactly how to write it and all of that. So you want to get the education, and then you want to join a community. So I think when people come to Flipology, they join the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program. They're joining a community that's going to support and keep them involved in the activities and the conversations that they need to be involved in that'll keep them playing this game. So, and then you want to have a plan, because once you have a why, you want to know where you are now. So let's say your why is you want to make $1 million. You want to know that you're here making no money. What is it going to take you to get there? So you have to find somebody whose success you want to model. And I'm glad you brought up Donald. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and the first office I worked in was in on Hillside in Queens, And the person that used to manage us for modeling was actually Donald Trump's construction manager. And all he talked about is the million, but it wasn't Donald Trump that started everything, it was his father. And then his father left him $1 million. And he took that $1 million and turned it into all this that you see. And I'd have to say that's because his father had him in the game. And so that's why it goes back to staying in the community. Because had he not grown up just seeing what his father was doing, learning from his father's mistakes and having the desire, like you saw real estate as an opportunity. I had nobody around me that I personally knew that modeled real estate except back home in South Africa. Everybody, we have our own homes, and we were taught to buy our houses cash. But here in America, you're taught to use credit. And now credit is catching up back home. So it's kind of funny to me. And I know I'm kind of jumping around, but I just want people to get the the train of thinking that there's so many ways to attack real estate
It is.
and to be successful at it. Like you like what you're doing. Break down what you do on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, of course, we seek out deals, and we can talk about, we have a 4-step proven system that we use so that we're successful. 90% of my business is flipping. And so, we find it, we find the funds to fund the deal, and then we fix it, and then we flip it. And I know that it seems easy, but within each one of those, there are other steps. So daily, we're out looking for deals. We're out training and coaching our students and our partners on how to find and how to complete these deals a little bit better. We were in one property for about 2 hours, and the sheetrock guys had a lot of blemishes. So things like that, we have to train our students and our partners on what to look for, because it looked nice, but it wasn't nice as we think it should be in order to sell it to a homeowner, because most of our deals are going to homeowners. So, daily we're out just perfecting what we do within that 4 steps. And then anything outside of that, when we're looking at commercial and residential, is I would say a bonus, because I've done and I still do commercial real estate as well.
I love commercial real estate. I know it takes a little longer to close, but the money's better. The opportunities are great. So sometimes I did one deal in Stone Mountain that took me almost a year to close, but it was a multi-million-dollar deal right by the mountain. And it was a strip mall. And, got it from sending out letters. And I'm just patient to wait it out, because now that's a huge cash flow. And that's the other thing, you can do all parts of real estate, And that's another reason why I like the yellow letter, because no matter what kind of deal you're looking for, they find it for you. So you seem to like to buy and resell.
Correct.
I like to buy and wholesale. I like to buy and hold, and then I like to wholesale. Those are ways I like to do real estate. And will you be covering that at the boot camp?
We will.
Awesome.
And most of the 90% of the boot camp will be discussing our 4-step system, which is finding, and the yellow letter is part of the finding. That is one of the most, because direct mail, yellow letters, and how you do it properly is why I reached out to Wendy, and we really needed it, because my students need more deals. If we're telling you can make all of this money in real estate, but you can't find a deal, it's really tough to make all of that money. And so at the boot camp, we will discuss several ways to find, and we'll talk about 7 different ways of finding deals. But one of
share 3.
3?
Yeah, just share 3.
Call us, and we'll definitely sell you a deal.
Okay.
2 is having a good broker or
Why did she fall down?
realtor that is investor. I want to call it investor friendly, investor savvy. An agent can be your best friend.
Exactly.
This is because they'll bring you deals. The third way is, again, the yellow letters. If you don't believe in the yellow letters, you can just look at the industry. Ask everybody that I know that's doing the business, and 80-90% of us are sending out yellow letters and getting deals from that. So those 3 ways, and there's a lot more that we'll talk about at the boot camp, but those 3 ways are very good ways.
I think I agree with you on the yellow letter, but like you said, it's a matter of doing it correctly, because I noticed that some people like very passive looking envelopes. Those don't seem to work as well for me, and that's why I brought the box so people can see that I like very bright envelopes. And again, if you watch the webinar we did before this one, it's live. You can watch it on YouTube. You can get it on any one of our Facebook pages. But I encourage you to watch that, because I really detailed the yellow letters, and I brought some that I'm mailing out. I guess I'll mail these out tomorrow, because I didn't go to the post office. But one of the things I really like about the yellow letter is because you can do your business from your car. Most people think when you do real estate, you have to have this big fancy office, or, you know, you can get a mailbox, you can get a P.O. box, you can get a little bit in your car and work from your car until you build cash flow. And then you can get an office if you want to, but there's so many virtual offices too. There's just so many ways to build a big, successful real estate business without putting a lot out in the beginning. And I always share with people the cost. So I think the yellow letter will get you in the game with under $500. You'll have really good success getting in the game with under $500. So, and that $500 would go to getting your P.O. box, because you don't want to have mail coming to your home. It's not safe. Get yourself a box or two of the envelopes, and then you want to get a couple of pens, a pack of stamps, and you write out the letter as we showed you in the last webinar, and you send it out. And when the phone rings, then you need in understanding how to speak to the sellers. Because I would say in the 19 years that you've done real estate, how many people have you resold something to? Sell something one time and then they don't want to speak to you anymore?
No. I've a lot of times if you buy something from someone, they're looking for somewhere else to go, and then if you do a good job, they'll tell someone else about you. So you'll get referrals from them a lot, especially with like older people, where you know you may buy a home from an older person, and then whoever brings them to the closing, whoever's dealing with them, will say, "Wow, we're looking for a property as well," and it begins to just grow. And if you have good customer service and do what you say you're going to do, so it's like almost like a tree.
And that's because you have good people skills. And that's the other thing with real estate. You have to develop good people skills, and they can be developed. I can tell you, when I started real estate, I was scared to death to talk to people. And I went to a seminar with Robert Allen, and one of the first things he said to me is, "You don't know how to ask people for stuff." I was scared to death. So they put me in the middle of San Diego, like bright early in the morning, and I had to fill a cup with quarters. I had to beg. And the objective was to teach me how to ask total strangers for something. Well, I got nothing. They put me out there like 7 o'clock in the morning. And again, I couldn't say I was at a Robert Allen seminar. I just literally stood there saying, "Hello, can I get a quarter? Can you spare some change?" And people were passing me because they were like, "She's got on alligator loafers. She doesn't need," with that perceptive. But at 4 o'clock, this man came by. I was in front of Burger King, and he came by and he said, "You've been here all day, young dude." And I said, "Sir, I just really need to fill this cup." And he went in Burger King, got a roll of quarters, and came out and filled my cup. But that taught me to be able to talk to people. And I love Robert Allen for that. I didn't know what was the purpose of that until after he did it. So that's another great thing about having a coach. He saw how to break me out of speaking to people. And now I get paid a lot of money to speak to people. But had I not taken that chance and invested and listened to my coach, Robert Allen, you need to do, I wouldn't be here today. You have to develop the skill of talking to people if you want to make the bigger money in real estate. If not, you still can do well just doing the yellow letter and finding deals for other people, being a bird dog. But if you want to make the big bucks, don't you have to learn to be comfortable building relationships?
You do. Yeah, I mean, the key to this business is the list of people in your relationships, because you can be the brokers of the brokers, and if you have a great relationship, you'll be fine.
Exactly, and that's so important. So tell me one thing that was hard for you in real estate. Like, it was hard. Who would believe that now, right? But tell me the one thing that was hard for you and how you fixed it.
I tell you what, it's still hard for me, and it's trust, delegating responsibilities, trusting others to do their part. And I can tell you, even today, that's probably one of my what has stunted my growth, because it's you can trust with your secrets and trust with your trade secrets, and that's very, very difficult. But that's life. I know in the beginning I would hold everything under my jacket, and then I learned you got to open it up.
Exactly.
Got to open it up.
Exactly.
That was still difficult for me today, delegation. But I would do it myself.
But see, then how can you make a million thing yourself?
You know what? It's tough, and I would advocate, and I advocate building your team, and it takes time. So when you're building your team, you just have to get people, and not just people that you know, because sometimes that you can trust them, but they don't to do what we need. And so it's you got to pray about it heavily. You got to definitely try to get referrals from others that have used someone's services or used them, as in what capacity you're trying to use them in, and then it works out. Definitely.
Well, I would say when you're team, I don't think it's a matter of trusting them with everything. When you give them little pieces of your pie, nobody gets the whole pie. So if I used to go to CCC in New York, and Pastor A.R. Bernard, great pastor, he used to always say, everybody is trustworthy, and you can trust them until they show you that you can't trust them. But you never give everybody the whole pie.
Correct.
So you give them enough for what they need to do, and then you trust that they will do that, but that doesn't mean you have to trust them totally. Like, how can I say this? If you don't delegate, because some of the stuff that you're doing is something you can delegate to somebody for what, $10? But what you do is where the $1 million come in. Because I've watched you work, and the things that you do, that $10, it's like that same Bill Gates, it costs him money if he were to pick up $100 bill.
True.
Because he makes over $5,000 an hour or a minute. So it's costing you if you're focusing on not delegating. So our goal together that we talked about is to get you to delegate more. And I think you're getting better at it.
You're getting a lot better.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot better, I know how you feel, because I used to be just like you. I used to think I have to do everything, and if I don't do it, and then I found myself being drained, and I was like, no. I don't care once I give it to you. See, it's still trying to get me to do computer stuff. I am not doing it. I'm not. That's exactly. He's the expert at that, and I'm not taking it back. Yeah. I will find somebody else to take little pieces of what he does, but I'm not taking it back, because I know the money for me is in me having conversations and finding property. Correct. So I'm going to stay where I make money. And I think that's what people need to realize in real estate. When they get into real estate, where do they make the most money? And then keep doing that over and over. I heard Steve Harvey say the way to make $1 million is to make the first 10. And then with 10, you figure out what you did for that $10, you do it 100 times more, and then you make that 1,000. And once you figure out how you did that, then you duplicate that until you make your first 100,000. Then you get the 100,000 and you do that 10 times, and now you've got the $1 million. Yes, but you've got to learn the one. He never said you got to do everything yourself. Just stay in your lane, and then delegate the rest, and keep looking for people. Like, I'm hoping that Dre is going to be a good team player, and I see he did make it to the webinar. So I think I'm looking at what is he going to do that's great, and be part of the team, because assets that I've seen so far. And so that's how you look to keep adding people to your team, and how you can work together with that person. So as we're coaching and training people, I think we're also looking to for us as we're doing that. Correct. Is that true?
Correct, we are.
Mm-hmm. And so what would be the right kind of person to come to Flipology? Who is that for?
Well, the company Flipology is for newbies
Mhm.
and experienced, because Flipology is it's a science. It's the science of flipping. So even for me, I learn every time that I'm working on the program, we're working on the boot camp.
Mhm.
I meet new people that elevate us every time. So with Flipology, the network is amazing. The people that are there, even the people that are new, that may be a writer, they have a different perspective on real estate. So it helps us because they'll give us ideas on how to make things better. So the right person is anyone that wants to invest in business, that wants to meet a group of professional uh, people, from attorneys to realtors to lenders. They'll all be there. And so anyone, I say anyone, if you're
Exactly.
willing to learn, and if you're not, you probably don't need to be there.
Well, I would like to take, and I'm glad you said that, because anybody that is serious about real estate, that's made a commitment to their own future, that really wants to have a successful real estate career. But if you're somebody that thinks you're just coming to find out to kind of, whine and complain about real estate, this is not for you. If you're serious about getting a future, about building and finding out, because I can tell you one thing, the Flipology and the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program is not a program where we're going to sell you a CD and then try to upsell you on something else that's hundreds of thousands of dollars like other so-called investors do, because they did a reality TV show. And we all know reality TV shows are staged. They're not always the real stuff. What we're doing is what we go out every single week. I know a couple of I had a girlfriend who actually was on one of the shows, and when I saw her on the show as a buyer, she wasn't even a buyer. They just paid. Her friend was doing the show, and we know the friend, a networking group in Atlanta right now, had her on the show pretending she was a buyer specialist, but she was pretending to be a buyer on the show. And so reality TV show is staged. All of it is not real. But what we're teaching you is real. It's facts. It's something that we're out there doing every single day. So I encourage you, if you're serious about learning how to have success and really want to come to Flipology Bootcamp 101. And you will get the details of how to do that when we close out. We have a couple of surprises for you. If you hung out on this webinar, and I am seeing Dre is on here, so show, and we'll I guarantee you'll want to be there.
Those free tickets have a lot. You have to have a lot of responsibility when you get one of those.
Yeah.
Well, you get a free ticket. You have to show up. You have to stay 4 days. We'll come to your house with you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we will. We'll
awesome.
We have skips to software, so we'll find
you. Hello.
But one of the things that we always say, if we give a ticket, we just want you to be there. We want you to be open-minded, willing to learn not only what I have to say and Wendy has to say, but the attorneys who are going to tell you how to protect yourself and the importance of having an attorney check your deals, and the lenders that are going to give you some great different lending, the different loans that are available, and they're inspecting. I mean, it's such a great experience for 2 days. It's almost like we want to do it for a week, but we can't. Most people don't have time to stay 5 days, but it's very intense. So, the ticket that we're going to give away, you have to be responsible enough to come and stay 2 days.
And I think that if you get a ticket, you want to be there. Don't accept the ticket if you are not committing. Again, this is for your success. It's not us. It's for your own growth and success. So again, you'd have to ask questions tonight before you can even have the option of the ticket. That's very important that you get that. But Ramon, let's give them somebody wanted to find property right now, and they watched this webinar.
Mhm.
And let's say they wanted to do a deal before they even got to Flipology. Is that possible? How is it possible?
I think the fastest way to find a deal and it would be to reach out to other investors, see what they have, and help market their deals. That way you don't have any money in it. You don't have to mail out anything. You go to work immediately. Now, it takes some work, but most of that work is done from the computer. And because that is to sell that, to market that deal and sell that deal. And that, to me, that's the fastest way. You can drop me off anywhere and say, hey, Ramon, here's a cell phone and a way to get on Craigslist and find someone that wants me to help market that deal and make some kind, even if it's $250, $100, some kind of money so that you can get going. Because once you get some money in your pocket, you get fired up, you get inspired to go out and do more and more deals.
So I'm gonna throw this out there. Let's do this. If somebody watched this webinar tonight and they hold you or I, and they go before they show up, they have proof that the deal was started after they left boot camp. This webinar. Okay. And total proof. We have to speak to the person they got the deal from, the person they sold the deal, and see the check that they got. Let's offer them something. Cash.
Cash?
Yes.
How much?
I'll match what you give. It could be 100, it could be 500.
But ladies first, but how much did you get? How about that?
Well, if they live in Atlanta, what do you think is like a good, because for me, when I say $50 would have helped me out. We're living in a different time.
We're living in Atlanta, can't even get
gas.
Yeah, you can't really
you can't even fill your gas.
Let's do 100 each.
I got you.
100 each.
Yes, come on. Yes.
So if they're on this webinar,
yes,
and they go out and do a deal between now and July 18th,
yes,
we'll give them $100 a piece.
And do this.
Waiting on you.
We'll give training for free. That's more valuable than the money.
Wow.
Let's do that. And you'll train them.
Wow. You see that? Along with the Yellow Coach campaign.
Yes, definitely. Yes. Exactly. That is amazing. Now, guys, if you have no idea, that is my phone going off. Let me see if that's my kid. Yes, I apologize about that. Anthony's outside and he's probably trying to get in. But so I just want you to understand that we want to see you success or us, and to let you know that we are pretty attainable and want you to win. So we're throwing stuff now. The Yellow Letter Mentoring Program start is $497. That's only for 2 months, offering you 6 months if you got this deal done. His training is even more than that. So tell them what it would cost for somebody if they weren't doing this and you were going to train them for 6 months. What would they have to invest?
I train in 3-month increments, and it's $49.97. So it's close to $5,000.
There you go. And we're giving them all this.
Giving away.
Yes.
$10,000? Is that Christmas, like a Christmas
exactly.
gift? Okay. So
exactly.
6 months, Christmas time, first of the year. But yeah, because Wendy is just to begin to show me and become a part of the team that we're all growing a team, then I'm willing to do that. We want to give back. We want to definitely make sure as many people as possible we can make success in this business.
Exactly. And the reason that we do this, guys, is because we want to make sure that when you go out there and do real estate, you're doing it correctly. And we have been helping people for a minute. Ramon recently just shared with me a friend of his who's a friend of my kids shared with him that, yes, I mean, she helped me with real estate way back when, build those kind of relationships, and you see the person
From another
moving
state.
forward.
Isn't that
Yes,
amazing?
New York.
Yeah, very. Yep.
So when you do it correctly, you can take it anywhere. But we want you tonight to just get the idea that you can do this. There's so many avenues. The yellow letter, like I said, I have YouTube videos on that. Tonight, I just wanted you to get your mind right and think about getting the information that you need, connecting and seeing the style Ramon and I have, which is very laid back. He and I are very casual about how we do what we do. We don't make it hard to understand. And we want you to see that, okay? I would like us to give them the next few tips on the 7 steps to success in having successful real estate. I would say for me, the next thing, I think you touched on marketing. And learn how to use social media. A lot of people are afraid of social media, but I tell you, my YouTube videos, the other day I had a friend of mine text me, this video you put up, I just sent it all over, and I looked and I had like almost 200 likes because he took that one video and shared it to other people because he liked the content in it. From that same video, somebody called me and said, would you come and speak at our church? We want to pay you.
Wow.
So you got to put yourself out there. You've got to market yourself. And it's not just saying, you know, I sell houses, I buy houses. When people can get a feel of your personality online, they kind of self-select you to be their mentor or coach. So we're going to show you how to do all of that when you come out. The other thing that I think is really good to do besides marketing is, like Ramon said, work on your team. But I think you need to work on 2 teams. Family team. You need the team at home that's going to make it easy for you to go. Like, find the people at home. If you've got kids and you're a mom, the person that's going to watch the babies or the kids, you know, I started this, I got a housekeeper to make sure that my kids were taken care of. Thank God they're grown now. I don't have to worry about that. But, you know, you need to build, like, think of all the obstacles that could come up at home. If you have to cook dinner for the week and that'll take your time, then just do it at one time. But figure out all the team building stuff that's going to make your home run smoothly. That's, again, one team. And then you need a business team. You also need a team that's going to help you continue to look right, because you don't want to go out and, you know, like you're not packaged correctly, you're not healthy, you're feeling tired and drained because you don't eat right or you don't exercise. So if you need a trainer, go, like, even find a gym that's going to offer you exercise or start exercising at home. But for me, I minimum of 2 to 3 teams.
Correct.
And what would you say?
I agree with it. You know, you have to, the family has to be on board.
Mm-hmm.
And then definitely, you know, when you build that team, it helps. This stuff is not going the way we want it to go, and sometimes it doesn't. Then you have that safety net of someone else supporting you, saying, hey, get back out there, you can do it. And vice versa. You know, the business team is family too. Sometimes family one, because you spend more time with your business team. So when things are not going like you want them to go at home, then that business team, you know, supports you. Say, hey, get back in there. Let's do the right thing. And then when they're both working in conjunction together and they're both saying, get back out there and do what you're supposed to do, and hey, great job, you go to new heights. So definitely those 2 teams are
Very
needed.
important. Yes. Yeah. Very important. You don't want just a bunch of people that say rah, 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 but you also want people that are going to hold you accountable. So you need teams that are under you, like, you know, at home supporting you, but then you need teams that are going to pull you up. And to me, that's your coach, your mentor, and people that you want to model their success. The other kind of teams you want is teams of other investors. I'm always collecting names and numbers of other investors. So when I come across a deal, I literally put it out in my network of people and say, hey, I just got a land deal. Are you interested in it? Or, you know, I just got this particular property. Before I put it public, I send it to my circle. So do you build your list?
Yes, I do.
How do you build your list?
I collect cards everywhere. We put them into our database. When we're at events, we have a sheet that you sign up to be on our list. And so just time when people call on properties, or when we're talking to people, we just, hey, can I have your card? Is it okay? And I always ask, is it okay if we add you to our database so that we can send you out what we have for sale or what we're looking for? And most people say yes.
Exactly. But you don't just bombard them either with a bunch of emails.
No, I don't.
Do you text them a bunch?
No, we do more emails, and it's maybe once a week. Depends on what we have. Like right now, we're getting ready for the boot camp, so there'll probably be multiple emails per week. But normally, it's whatever property's coming out, it goes out a couple times a week until it's sold. And then if there's just some fun tips that we'll send out on a weekly basis.
And I happen to know that the boot camp is almost sold out. So people really got to get in there and get these tickets in there. So, but it's almost sold out because once you reach your limit, do you continue selling?
No, we cut it off because we want it to remain a certain kind of environment. We don't want it to be too commercial where you can't reach out and touch us. We don't need 2,000 people in a room because we can't properly teach this business to 2,000 people at once. So for us, we limit it to a certain amount of people. There's still a fairly decent amount of people, but that number is, below 2,000. So once we get to that point, we just cut it off. We won't take any more money because we can't effectively teach, a certain amount of people.
Exactly. I'm like really excited. I think we shared some good content. I just, can we give like maybe 2 or 3 quotes that kind of stick out to you? Because what I do for myself when I'm losing my zest or when something throws me off course, I will spend the day just looking and reading successful quotes or people that are successful. And you saw yesterday I posted one of the successful 10 tips that I was enjoying listening to. But the wealthiest person on earth, Warren Buffett, who gave away a lot of money.
Like 30 billion.
Oh my God.
The Bill Gates Foundation.
Exactly. And it didn't even affect him. Okay. He says of all the things that you can invest in, real estate is a great thing to invest in. And he looks at it that you want to invest in real estate not based on the appreciation, not based on what you're going to get later. He said most people make the mistake of looking at real estate and they say, well, I'm going to buy it for $100,000 and I'll hold it for 30 years and sell it for $200,000. He likes to look at cash flow. So he always buys based on the cash flow. That's why I want your 4 units, because I'm always looking at cash flow and I like to buy properties that are going to get me cash flow. So he says, rental property, because they produce income every month, is the best cash dispenser you can find. And this is somebody who made a lot of money on Wall Street, but ended up buying, yes, but he bought a lot of real estate. Like McDonald's makes a lot of money selling hamburgers, but they make even more money from the real estate they own that they sell the hamburgers from. So what do you think about cash flow?
Oh, cash flow is great. We need it. And so, again, with my model, where I do a lot of flipping, we also do some wholesaling, and I buy and hold, which I've done for 19 years because I started out buying and holding. So we're always looking for that good cash flow, cash cow property.
Exactly. So do you have any in this area?
Yes.
And would you share them?
No, we don't share in this area.
That is so good. And I remember when I first got involved in real estate in Atlanta, I bought a lot of stuff around here, flipped a lot of stuff. And when the market changed, I got rid of a lot of stuff. And I'm like, well, you should have held on to that stuff. The cash flow wasn't bad at all, but I was like, this is not that great of a neighborhood. And now it's changing. Yes, it's coming back. So I get paid from real estate. Get paid from real estate. Get in the game. Get connected with the 2 of us. Follow us. Get involved in our communities. Look at our style of training and teaching. and pick something. If you're watching this, I guarantee you can see a link at the bottom of this training, and it'll give you access to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program. That program, as I said, is $497 right now, and it's for a couple of months. When I train people for 6 months or more, they pay a lot more than that, and we're willing to give away one of those tonight. But if you tonight, you will see all the benefits and bonuses that we're offering. One of the things that we do when you do the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program is you need to get names and addresses. So we help you with that. We give you a minimum of 200 names and addresses, and we teach you to create habits. I always believe if you don't make a habit of doing some certain things in real estate, the money-making activities, you're not going to make any money. So the habit of writing the letters and responding to the letters, and then building your team and getting those deals closed. And we'll help you with all of that. But you want to get started with an activity. So if somebody is watching this and they said they want to get to Flipology Bootcamp, what would they need to do?
They can go to our website, which is RamonTooks.com. That's RAMON, T as in Tom, OOKES.com, and register. What I can do, I can tell you, because you're on this web, and can I give you, if you register tomorrow by 5, because it's selling, and we have a lot of advertising this weekend. Because you're on this webinar, the cost of it is $197. We will allow you to bring a guest.
Way to go.
So for 2 days, including lunch, including all the networking and all the different connections and all the speaking that you'll get. We also go out on charter buses on Sunday for 4 to 5 hours. For 2 days, 2 people, $197, because you're on this webinar and because you're part of Wendy's network. We will offer that to you if you register tomorrow by 5.
Now, I'm going to put this on YouTube. So if people even come from YouTube, or they come from either one of our Facebook pages, you're going to hold this until 5 o'clock tomorrow?
Yes.
Awesome. So I encourage you guys. I can't tell you, I am thankful I have access to Ramon, because he has such a way of doing real estate and teaching real estate. I've literally sat and watched him helping other people understand real estate and how to become successful at it. I guarantee if you come to the boot camp, you're going to find that you are connected to the right community. And I've been in other communities that do boot camps, a lot more money. They charge more just for the bus ride alone. And then when the boot camp is over, most people leave not knowing. They're hyped, they're motivated, but they don't know what the first step is to go and start making money every single month from real estate. I guarantee you, you will understand how to do that when you come to the boot camp. So Ramon, I'm going to let you close us out. I'm really thankful for you doing this webinar again tonight. And we have another webinar in 2 weeks, don't we?
Correct. Okay. We do. In closing, Wendy, I'm so thankful that we are beginning to work together. The guy behind the scenes, Mr. Darcy, he's inspirational. We don't know what we would do without him, with the camera, because I'm like Wendy, I don't really touch. But we're thankful for you guys taking your time tonight to even listen in on us. What we can tell you is this relationship is growing. Our team is growing. We're joining teams, so her team is becoming my team is becoming her team, and we have phenomenal people on our team. And so the more that you watch these webinars, the more that you follow us, the boot camps and the mentoring programs, the better you'll get, the faster you'll get, because we'll curve that learning. We'll cut that learning curve. And so we, again, thank you guys. We're looking forward to seeing you at the boot camp, July 18th and 19th. Wendy will be talking about her Yellow Letter campaign. I will be teaching how to find, fund, fix, and flip. And then you will have other people that are speaking on the ways to become successful in this business. So again, we thank you guys for being out, for listening or looking on tonight. And we look forward to you guys listening in 2 weeks.
And get started to take that action step to start making some money in real estate right away. You don't have to wait to get to Flipology.
Right.
Connect with Ramon and connect with me like right away. I guarantee you won't regret it. We've had some amazing lifestyles because of real estate, and we guarantee the same for you. Flipology, what date?
It's July 18th and 19th. We're at the Marriott on Century Boulevard. It's going to be both days from 8 to 5.
Bye.
Have a good evening.